Good. It went real well this morning. That sounds good. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go live and do a Crocheters Corner. Yeah, we got the show, but I'll give you a call afterwards, see how your day went, all that good stuff. Yeah, you too, Mama. Don't work too hard. Yeah, it's Friday. One more. Almost there. I will. I love you too. All right, Mama. Bye bye. Thank you so much, Ryan, for letting me know that I was muted. I totally forgot. I was just making sure my mom was up for work. She cracks me up. Never had a cell phone, never wanted one. When she gets one and leaves it somewhere, she can't. She's like, "Well, just call me and make sure I'm up because I don't have my cell phone in the alarm." It's just funny. So I just got done with Ironworks. A really fun show. Um, we had a good time. Kind of steering clear of space lettuce a little bit, but just announcing the really outrageous stuff. SpaceX pushed back their launch, of course, to February now to test out their Dragon manned flight, yada, yada, yada nonsense. And it's not even for moon travel either. It's just for going to the space station so they don't have to pay the Russians to take them up there. And of course, it's postponed. Not sure when. Sometime in February. Haven't set a date yet. I don't know, folks. I don't know how people. Well, I guess when you're bombarded with it so much. Went and watched the Constance. Hugs to you too, sweetie. Went and watched the moon set last night. I noticed for some reason, I don't know what it is, my camera is having trouble focusing on the moon lately. I don't know what it is. I can focus on other things really, really well. Yeah, of course. They have to postpone it again and again and again and again. But they do have pictures of it already docking with the ISS space station, so they already have their artist renditions of what's going to take place. So when they show that picture and say, "Look at, see, it's up there for real." Hey, Ron, welcome. Yeah, we usually have a fun time over there, Ryan, on TFR. A little chilly this morning, isn't it, Ron? I think they said 52 down here. Yeah, it's funny. Adam was walking around last night, bundled up. Oh, it's getting cold. People in Florida are definitely spoiled when it comes to the dealing with cold weather. And it hasn't even really gotten bad yet as far as temperature wise. It's snowing in a lot of places right now, I guess. Yeah, I saw that up in Atlanta. It was 24. Wow, Ron, 36. Yeah, it definitely got chilly. They're saying it's supposed to warm up though again here. The warm front's going to come right back through. We'll see. Yeah, it's nice down here, just south of Tampa. I wanted to spend a year without seeing snow. Yeah, no, late January, early February. That's when, at least in northern Indiana, that's when we always had our coldest spells come rolling through. Then just the end of the nor'easterns blowing down Lake Michigan and stuff like that. Yeah, should be moving to Croatia here in June, and it's gonna be a little milder, a little bit of snowfall and stuff like that, but not too bad. Yeah, Ron, exactly. The weather changes minute to minute, it seems like, here in Florida. I really enjoyed it. I thought it would be raining more, but we've only had a couple days of rain. Found out it's illegal to collect rainwater here in Florida. It was illegal back in Indiana as well. I love when they claim rights to the rain and things like that. That cracks me up. So yeah, space weather or space lettuce. I was listening to Zulu One. I could have swore it was last night. I thought he and Mishka and them. See, I don't know how they police it. I believe it has more to do with not so much gathering them in buckets. See, that's all I was gonna do. I wanted to guard or hey, welcome Flatlander, Tom. Yeah, Tom, that's what I was going to do, just gather it for my garden. But they're saying that's even illegal. Catching it in any type of container and storing it for any use is illegal. So I'm gonna have to look into it a little bit more. But I was hoping to put up like a little gutter system, and we were gonna get a big giant 500-gallon tote and just keep it somewhat full to where we could turn it on, have it slightly elevated off the ground, have a little thing at the bottom, a spigot, to where we could turn it and open it up, and then have a. You wouldn't even need like a sprinkler. I just do the hose with the little holes in it, the drain hose, where you just set it out around your plants, usually running down the middle of the rows, and water them that way. Yeah, Florida off grid is illegal as well. You have to be connected to the electricity grid, even if you have your own solar, wind, anything, even if you're creating your own power, they want you connected to their grid. I don't know about the water, but definitely the electricity. That's what I've gathered so far. It is illegal to have a house that isn't connected to their electrical grid. That's what I'm hearing. I mean, I haven't been to a perfect state yet. New Mexico is probably one of the most lenient states that I found. Yeah, it's the water. I don't see how they have the right to it. I know in Washington and Oregon, this all started because people had been damming up streams and things like that on their property to make reservoirs. And if you're even, I don't know, they were altering ecosystems down the river and the stream or something like that. So I can kind of understand that. But as far as, I mean, if the beavers go and dam something up on your property, I don't know. It just doesn't, these things happen in nature. And it all seems like them trying to take as much power as they can over every facet of our life that they can. If they can control everything that has to do with the waterways, then just because we listen to them, then they're going to. But to say you can't collect your own rainwater for consumption or bathing or, I mean, that's insane. Yeah. Yeah, that's the first place I had heard it. I think I had heard it in either Oregon or Washington. Somebody had dammed up a small stream to gather rainwater. Or whenever it rained, a lot of water flowed through their property into a stream, but only when it rained. It wasn't like there was a permanent stream there. So they dammed it up before it had gotten to the stream. Yeah, admiralty law. Yeah, that stuff is, oh, what is it called? Maritime law. I don't know. I try to stay. I don't like using my brain power for law anymore. I got into it for a few years and learned a few things, but when it really comes down to it, you learn that it all comes down to what that judge say is right or wrong. It's if you're not in the club, even if you know all the words and say all the right things, it still comes down to a judge's discretion. And most likely for that judge to be in the seat that they're in, they're part of the club. Not saying every judge, I don't know, but Plato said it best, folks. Able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. That's just how it goes. It's they know they can lie and get away with it. And even if they get caught by just a few people, it's okay because nobody's going to believe what those few people say when there's so many saying that they're crazy. Yeah, it's but people are waking up slowly but surely. There's definitely a change in the tide from people sleeping just, and I'm not saying there aren't people that are still sleeping. There's plenty, and there always will be. That's just the nature of this beast. But the number of awake people fighting for good, I should say. You know what I mean? It's people that can see the board and are aware of the game that's going on, all of these people can, the numbers are starting to equal out a little bit more, I think. The number of awake people, because a lot of these people in these secret societies and whatnot, they're privy to certain knowledges that they don't share with the common man. And, you know, I mean, there's people that know what they're spraying up there and what's going there. There's agendas, there's things that we're not told. And these people that know these things, um, there's a certain number in that group. Well, the number of people that are aware of these people, maybe not their names, but that are aware of, that there are deceptions going on and there is this cabal, this organization, this secret hidden group. The number of people that are aware that that is taking place is growing. And I think that's very important. That's the war right there. That's the actual. There's many battles on many different fronts, but the war is between, you know, the meek and the humble who live openly in society are facing those who hide their knowledge and aren't out for the betterment of, you know, the whole of everyone. They would like to hoard and keep things secret so they remain with an advantage over everyone else. I would do that, Constance. Did anybody see the Owen Benjamin? Anybody know about that guy or ever heard of him? Karen B just put out a video, might have been yesterday or the day before, about a gentleman named Owen Benjamin. I guess he's semi-famous, 200 something thousand subscribers. Been on a bunch of TV show, like talk shows and stuff like that. Um, he's kind of coming out and yeah, he's hilarious, isn't it? I love when he bans people. Well, you're never going to be on here again. You're banned for life. Just the way he says it. But yeah, you can tell he's been looking into this flat earth thing. I think he is, aware and is a flat earther. He'll keep saying he isn't. Um, I think he's doing it right, coming out and doing it right, like really fighting it and trying to show people that they're good. This is the way to do it, to be asking his. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, Ryan. It's hilarious. There's no way it's flat. There's no way it's flat. I can't be a flat earther. And yeah, you can tell he's done his research looking into it. And he's but yeah, this is a really great way of waking up a bunch of people. I don't know if this was orchestrated, maybe by Eric and Owen. Um, but when you have this, like Ken Wheeler, I was waiting for Ken Wheeler to, I still am, because he's privy to it and aware. Hey, chocolate, what's going on? Welcome, brother. Yeah, you just know Ken Wheeler is aware of what's going on. Smart guy, you know, and but he makes his living with all this photography stuff that he does. It would probably put a damper on his income if he came out and said, "Oh yeah, and I believe the Earth is flat." People would think he was crazy and would never want to listen to another thing that he said. So I understand, you know. Um, it would hurt some people's livelihoods. Now he doesn't come out and say, adamantly that it's a globe. I've heard him, when people try to push it too far, he'll kind of back what modern science is saying. But for the most part, he steers clear of the subject, um, which I can respect. It's better than him just coming out and saying, "No, it is a globe," blah 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 blah, and making a deal about it. But yeah, I think this is, like I said, I never heard of Owen Benjamin. I guess he'd been on all Jimmy Kimmel and whoever late night, and I don't know. He's been around for a while, I guess. Had a couple Comedy Central things, I guess, specials or whatnot. But he's funny. He's and like he said, Constance. It's fun to watch, just to listen to him talk. He's very, I don't know. He's a likable person. But yeah, that should be interesting watching all this unfold. 207,000 subscribers. Just more and more. I'm sure he's already woken up plenty of people just to look into it with some critical thought. Oh, there's a meetup. Karen B and me on Saturday. Is that like a physical meetup you're having, Constance, or a virtual meetup? Yeah, Walter Lewin. He came out and stated it. Um, Alrighty, Dave. Take care, brother. Always a pleasure, man. Yeah, Walter Lewin came out and said, "Oh, awesome, Constance. Wonderful. You guys have a great time." Walter Lewin came out and said he is not discussing whether the earth is flat or not. He stated it adamantly in two videos back to back. So I think he's getting a lot of pressure. He was talking about, you may not like me anymore, this and that. You may not want to be my friend, this and that. So I think he's getting some backlash. And a little backstory of Walter Lewin, something to do with um, underage minors, sexual something or other came about, and he was pretty much blackballed from MIT. Now, if you're in the club, you know, Pizzagate, things like that, they have ways of covering all that kind of stuff up. I think you only get outed if you don't, you're not playing by one of their rules or something like that. Um, they don't make it a huge ordeal. It's not running mainstream news articles and things like that. You don't lose your tenure at MIT when you're in the club for doing these types of things. It's probably a pretty common thing that they cover up and he was blackballed. So he may have heard about this quite some time ago and tried to do something about it. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely clear that he does not want to talk about it at all. He is scared of the subject. He will not even approach the topic. It's not an option to speak about for him. So yeah, it's kind of telling, I think. And it's sad because he's such a great teacher. And the thing I loved about him was so much is that he was honest. You know, there's one part where he's teaching about how it's one of Gauss's law about how the outside of a sphere will gather all of the charge, positive or negative, on that object. As to where the inside of a hollow sphere, the inside of the hollow sphere will have no charge at all. And he's putting his two rods down in there to touch them to the surface or touch them together. I forget which it is. And he's saying, and it is touching the inside. He's like, I would not lie to you, at least not about this, which told me right there that he was pretty much saying that I'm going to lie to you about something. For, not saying the reason, not saying anything else, but I am going to be lying to you in the future. So just, you know, like he's letting you know that what he is having to teach you, he knows is not true. And I don't know, I always had a lot of respect for the man for some reason. I don't know why. Just the way that he went about carrying himself. But on the other hand, I mean, it's a choice, Do you keep lying to people that care about you and love you and consider you their teacher, their mentor, their yeah, when do you say, okay, I don't care what you do to me anymore? I've lived a good long life and I'm going to come out and tell the truth. I don't know. I'm sure he is privy to things that most people are not. Being in the position that was in, winning all of the different prestigious awards that he had, he's obviously in the club, or was in the club at least, in my opinion. So who knows what he knows and why he hasn't come out and but it's almost impossible for me to believe the way he would teach Gauss's law on a giant plane in his class, how it would work. You know that he's gone through all these things in his head. You know he was aware that Stephen Hawking had a flat universe theory. Yeah, it's sad, you know. Some of these great minds are scared to share their knowledge for the persecution that they get. You know, is the sign of Jesus Christ on a cross. Why is that the sign? Is it really the sign of a savior? Or is that the sign of, you know, somebody that broke the rules and that's what happened to them? Is that sign for us? Or is that a sign for the secret society people? To say, if you do that and you share our secrets and our hidden knowledge with these common people, you know, if you share our magic with these common people, and this is what's going to happen to you. Yeah, I don't know enough about Stephen Hawking. I've done a little bit of research, but I don't know. It seems that he may have been a real person at one time. Kind of was well known for being very young and very intelligent. You know, graduated college at a young age, but then went around saying that the Earth was flat, and they couldn't have that. And his model, his theory, his idea, he didn't know what was causing it, but it was a flat, hot surface underneath, something hot underneath meeting something cold above, and we lived on the crust that was created between the two. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't believe any of the crap that came out of his voice box thing as being him. Was Stephen Hawking another warning for smart people who get well known at a young age to, hey, if you want to end up in a wheelchair, you know, not able to move or function or anything, then you keep your mouth shut about certain things. I don't know. Like I said, there's a secret world out there that we're not privy to. People can think I'm crazy for saying that, but I mean, they openly admit it, that they are parts of secret societies. It's not a made up thing. They don't just gather and play ping pong once a week. Hey, all right, Jack. Half a day. It's always a good thing. Yeah, just working on a hat. Little man's home. Gosh, he's so cute. I got to hold him last night for a little while, and I was sharing some words of wisdom, you know, a lot of the basics about the world and how it is and what you got to keep an eye out for, and, you know, listening to big sister and mom and dad and not showing animals fear and loving animals and all the insects and bugs and birds and showing them all compassion and just all the stuff a little guy needs to hear. Yeah, the hot below and cold above. It just, when you I see it. The thing is, I could never get. All I got was a PBS article. I never had like a paper. I can't find a paper written by Stephen Hawking about the flat Earth theory. The only thing I can find is his papers from college, written on black holes from 1965. Nothing before him being an astrophysicist is. I couldn't find it on the internet, and I scoured long ago, a few years ago, like right when I started getting into flat Earth, or right when I started making videos. So about a year after, about 2016, early 2016, about 3 years ago, I was looking into Stephen Hawking, and I had found that PBS article and I was telling people about it and sharing it with people and showing it, and then all of a sudden it was gone. Yeah, me too, Constance. It's scary. Um, but then again, the world that we came into was scary at the time. I think I think these kids are going to be okay. With awake parents like Adam, teaching them about the world. It's like I said, there's more people waking up and becoming part of the, how should I say it, the meek society that is aware. Not so much the secret society that's aware, but the meek that isn't lurking in the shadows. They do all their business and all their thoughts and thinking they share with everyone that are aware. There's more of those people now. Um, and they're having children. It's not like they're afraid of this world, they're meeting it head on. Yeah, I could see that, Ryan. Well, like the Google that we use to do our searches and all that kind of stuff, I think it's a little over 1% of the internet, the actual internet or something like that. I guess. I mean, .coms and .orgs and .net and .edu and .gov. There's so many more dots out there that there's only a few of them that are used by the common public, by the meek, the muggles, whatever you want to call us. These secret societies have so many dot whatevers that the information, I guess, is out there, but it's just knowing how to find it and where to find it and being, you know, safe about finding this type of information, because it's some of it isn't, they don't want people knowing, especially people who share the information that they find. Yeah, Constance. The stuff you find in old books, especially stuff written like before 1900, you would be so amazed at a lot of that stuff. Actually, out in Ehrenberg, Arizona, at their laundromat, I had found all kinds of books from 1930 and before. I was really tight on money when I was out there, but they were like $1.50, $2, and all these books were like on the physics and astronomy and if I would have had a bunch of money, I would have brought a library home with me and carrying weight around too. Um, I'll be right back, folks. Just give me a minute. I need to run to the bathroom real quick. 2 shakes. My big old hands are yeah. You being so spoiled, staying so warm. Not like up in Indiana where you gotta go party out in the cold, huh? Yeah, I know. I know. It's so warm down here, huh? Yeah, you like it, huh? You wanna get down in those cupboards? You wanna get down in those cupboards, huh? Okay, my baby. Okay, my big boy. My big hanky painter. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at me, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love you, pal. Oh. Oh, that's cool. Old encyclopedias. Yeah, I had 2 different sets, one from the 70s and then one from the 90s. And it was weird because a lot of the information was different, like the geographical information, like the size of different countries and whatnot. A lot of it was exactly the same, but there were certain ones that were changing, like really changing a lot. I couldn't believe it. And then you go even back older, you get some of those books from back in the 50s, those encyclopedias, and you find out all kinds of crazy stuff. Wow, that's awesome, Ron, from the 40s. I'm going to have to do a little bit of counting. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I know I'm getting close. Okay, a few more to go before I can stop paying so much attention. Ed McMahon was never part of Publishers Clearinghouse. What? Didn't he go door to door and do all that stuff? Wasn't that Ed McMahon? Yeah, I've seen that, Ron. Hey, rose tinted monocle. Yeah, I could have swore that he did the Publishers Clearinghouse, handing stuff out. Ed McMahon. All right, Ron. Have a great day, man. Hope work goes well. Yeah, I made an all black hemp hat yesterday for Rich. Flat World Logic? Flat Earth Logic? Oh, that's awesome, Ron. You're blessed, man, to be able to enjoy what you do. Well, go enjoy your day then. That's awesome, brother. That was, yeah, I can't wait to start working. I can't wait. I mean, I really can't wait to start welding more to get some of these, what Adam will do when, if automotive stuff slows down a little bit, he has a job with a dumpster guy who owns a bunch of dumpsters, and he'll cut out the bad parts of the dumpsters and re-weld in new parts for him, and it pays really well. I mean, welding is a pretty well-paying job, and it's I'd love to do it just because it's fun. Welding is just fun. I enjoy it. Well, I need to look up and see if I can find an Ed McMahon Publishers Clearinghouse commercial now. Jack, you've inspired me. Um, this is going to drive me nuts if I don't. So I'm going to open up this window and we're going to type in Ed McMahon PCH and see what happens here. And it's taken for because I know Jack does his research here. Okay, it says 100% proof of Ed McMahon with Publishers Clearinghouse Mandela effect. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Forbes is saying that there's a curious case. That was YouTube that said that it's another rabbit hole. Let's see what Forbes says. Not that I believe Forbes at all. I just want to see him say. Okay, they're saying even Rahm Emanuel of the Obama administration had talked about Ed McMahon. He said a stimulus bill is denying ourselves an Ed McMahon moment. the grateful squeal of Publishers Clearinghouse pleasure that would greet an envelope arriving from Obama. Yet, Emmanuel, like nearly everyone else, gets it wrong. Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. He was a spokesman for American Family Publishers. He never left the studio to ambush families, and he never held a giant check. This is according to Forbes. Wow. And now it's not letting me scroll anymore. Well, there were always a meat-ring commercial go on air, and they do everything we did. So during that, there was a tremendous amount of TV, people got the ads mixed up. They even people. Oh, he was for a different thing, not Publishers Clearinghouse. And the well-established spokesperson. Huh. Well, that's wild, Just Jack. Wow. So maybe I mean Forbes is not somebody who's they're definitely in the club, part of the club. So maybe this is all just nonsense to keep us talking about stuff like this and not talking about the real stuff. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter whether he was or he wasn't. Yeah, yeah, they definitely did for the Kennedy killings. Yeah, it's like seeing behind the scenes of the show almost. When you don't know that you're part of the show. I was listening to Issa Jam last night. Adam and I went out to the golf and watched the moon set on the golf. Just crazy, folks. It was cool. We're gonna do it again here, maybe tonight. Go watching the sliver hit the mirror band and make a instead of being a smile now, it goes to a grin and a frowny face all at the same time. Yeah, and that's it, Jack. On the internet, um, they've got it to where the people who run the internet and all that kind of stuff, a couple keystrokes, and they can change so much. It's yeah, it is. It's frustrating. I remember seeing articles back in the 90s that you think, you'd still would be floating around there out there somewhere. And they had to do with NASA about three suns. NASA scientist claims Earth has three suns. And I was all, wow, this and that, yada, yada, yada. And it was talking about Antarctica and this and that. And then when I got back into Nibiru back in 2011, I I went looking for that article, I remember, and I could not find it. I scoured the internet. Take care, Jack. Have a wonderful half day. Almost done already, brother. You got this. You can do it. Welcome to the show. Yeah, Adam's little boy is so adorable. He was making faces. He was pooping last night while I was holding him. And all righty. Take care, Constance. Big hugs and kisses and face licks from Hank. Looks like Arwen has started up. A lot of people are heading over there. I might just start getting ready. What time is it? 8 o'clock? I got a little bit of done. This hat isn't really for anybody. Just using up the yarn I have left. I'm just going to do a single dot in the center. I'm going to come down and then do a single stripe around near the bottom. Hopefully that'll look pretty cool. But dig this. I'm going way down south. Yeah, I'm not too interested in the whole Mandela thing. It really hasn't piqued my interest too much. Seeing how they can change things and stuff, it's just I don't get it. Maybe pushing the whole multi-dimensional, multiverse theory or the simulation theory, this and that, and we're going from one simulation into another and blah 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 blah. I've heard all kinds of theories. I just don't give it too much credence. Now, if all of a sudden, I go to visit my mom and it's a totally different person that remembers me as being their son, okay, that would kind of send me down a never ending rabbit hole, probably. But a phrase in a movie or this or that, or, whether Ed McMahon worked for publishers, that's not going to bother me all that much. They can change all that kind of stuff. I got a little bit chilly last night. 11, 12, 13. Okay. I'm getting there to where it gets to the fun part. Welcome to the show where you don't know that you're part of the show. Yeah, 8 o'clock, folks. It's been about an hour. I guess I'll quit crocheting for a while. I'll probably jump back on later if we're not too busy around here. Well, I got the show on IRM tonight, so I probably won't jump back on. I'll be over there on IRM. Gonna be covering the FE European Tour coming up this year in 2019 and the FE European Convention in Amsterdam tonight on IRM. Have no sphere Fridays. So I hope to see you guys there. Oh, yeah. On your work PC, Jack? That's cool that you can work and still listen in to stuff while you're working. I was able to do that at my last job as well, but my internet, the internet didn't work on my cell phone inside. It was in a factory, and it worked great right outside the factory, but inside that place, it was like a Faraday cage almost. It was really hard to get a signal unless you were in certain spots. And it was funny because I would have it all throughout the factory, and then I'd get maybe 50 feet from my work area, and I'd start cutting out a little bit, and then in my work area, it was just gone. So I'd get to listen on breaks and stuff like that. Get in trouble for working too fast. That's awesome. Yeah, they used to tell um, when things would start getting a little bit slower in the wintertime, they'd slow down a little bit. And I mean, to where they were starting to offer sending people home, which they rarely ever did. Oh, take care, Flatlander. They rarely ever did in a lot of these factories. I mean, they'll find you something to do. And I think it was because the plant manager hated altering the pay rates and figuring out how much you were getting paid and this and that, how many hours and yada, yada, yada. He hated doing the math. So he liked it when people just worked their whole shift. It made it nice and simple for him. That's weird, Jack. So, what do you think about the Wi Fi? Is that messing up our bodies being around it and having it around us at all times now? I wonder if it feels different without Wi Fi around. I mean, I was up in the mountains where I don't know if there was, I couldn't get a signal, but it doesn't mean that there wasn't one there that I just wasn't picking up. I wonder if there are places, at least here in the US, that aren't covered by some type of radio signal, or some type of a signal, some type of frequency wave traveling through, you know, the air where you are. I don't know. I wonder if there's an instrument out there that can detect such a thing. I'm not very savvy when it comes to all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna have to look into something like that, Jack. Try to find a spot where there's nothing. Probably be a good place to clear your head. Well, she's coming along nicely. Would you ever wear a hemp hat, Jack? I'll be driving through South and North Carolina here on my way back home. I'm going to visit my brother in South Carolina and stop by and say hi and drop you a hat off. I'll make you a nice big 80 pounder. Yeah, I was just talking with the guys or with Adam last night. Once I start working there in Croatia, I'll be making fairly decent money. I told him I'll still make my hemp hats in my off time, but now I'll just give them away. I'll just send them out to people, try to fill up the whole community of people. Yeah, as long as you're willing to try it. And if you don't like it now, maybe some other day, your hair changes or this or that or whatnot, something happens. Maybe you'll like it another time. And you seem to me like the all natural type, like me. Oh, I don't have it on right now. Wow. I might have to check that out. Let me click on that actually and see how much they want for something like that. Boom, 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 boom. Now I should read it off to people what it is. It is a advanced GQ EMF 380 V2 multi-field electromagnetic radiation 3-in-1 EMF ELF meter, RF spectrum analyzer, ghost cell tower smart meter, Wi-Fi hidden spy camera, signal bug detector, RF up to 8G. $112. I'll have to do some research on them. Dreads are cool. I've known a few people who have had dreadlocks. I was considering it when I had hair back in the day. I used to have really long hair down to the middle of my back, curly hair, and I'd always tie it up in a bandana. When I was working, I'd put it in a bun so it wouldn't get, it was always dirty work I was doing, and I'd try to hide my hair from all the filth. Yeah, and then I started losing it, and then I cut it, and then never grew back. I never really wanted the mullet. Yeah, cotton is the way to go. Pretty soon, we're going to see a lot more hemp out there, I believe, out in the world. as they start opening up all these hemp fields and farms and hopefully some hemp textile factories, we can start making stuff out of hemp again. Just wondering if it's going to be all. Well, I know there's people pushing for it, and now that they're legalizing cannabis in so many places, the only reason hemp was supposedly illegal was because it was so hard to tell the difference between it and cannabis. So there is no real legal purpose that they have to stop hemp. Um, I don't know. Hopefully things are changing, and people are putting the word out there that they're. I don't know. It's easy to get discouraged. They got to remember there's a lot of good people fighting for the good of the people, making things, better. Even though those in charge, or most of those in charge, I should say, are only looking out for them and theirs, I believe there's still good people that are helping the fight be fought, at least. If not fighting it themselves, they're fueling the fight for others that are sitting in somewhat high seats of power. For whatever reason, whether it be the demise of one of their enemies or some kind of gain they're going to get in the long run from it. I believe that's why we are privy to certain things. And 14, okay. Well, yeah, I'm going to get rolling. I'm going to jump off here. Ooh, I hope to see you guys on IRM tonight. I almost just got a cramp in my leg. I hate that. I despise that, I should say. Ooh. But thank you all for joining me. It was a fun chat this morning. I think most of the people have gone over to Arwen's. I'll probably jump over there for a little bit at least. But yeah, thanks for joining me. It was a fun one. I will see you all next time. Hopefully you'll be joining over on IRM tonight for Have No Sphere Fridays. Should be a good show. If anybody would like to purchase one of Hank's handmade hemp hats, we've got black or natural, couple patterns, a couple stripes, a dot and a stripe, stuff like that. Whatever you really want, I can do. There will be a link in the description box below. So thank y'all for joining. This is Good Times for All signing out. And as always, thanks for watching.